الثاني والأربعون, the 42nd point, Ibn Qayyim rahimahullah ta'ala, he says, أن يعلم, is that it motivates the person to be pleased with the pre-decree of Allah. And the reason why a believer will be like that, is that he knows أن منع الله سبحانه وتعالى لعبده المؤمن المحب عطاء, is that he knows that the man' of Allah, that what Allah that what Allah has prevented him from having, what Allah has stopped from arriving at him, what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has withheld from the person, is ata. What Allah withholds from his believing worshipper is, who loves him, is ata. It is a gift from Allah. That what Allah withholds is a gift from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that Allah is withholding that thing is a gift. That Allah is withholding that thing and choosing that a person should not have that thing, that choice, and that pre-decreeing, that test is a gift from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَبِتِلَاءَهُ إِيَّاهُ عَافِيَةٌ, and he knows with certainty that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala trialing him and testing him, that it is afiyah, that trialing and the testing, that in reality that is afiyah, that is well-being, that is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala giving him what is for his own good. قال Sufyan al-Thawri, he says that Sufyan al-Thawri rahimahullah ta'ala said, منعه عطاء. Now what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala withholds, that is a gift. It is a gift that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala withholds. It is a gift that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala prevents certain things from his creatures and from his worshippers. وَذَلِكَ, Ibn Qayyim rahimahullah ta'ala explains the statement of Sufyan al-Thawri rahimahullah ta'ala. He says, وَذَلِكَ أَنَّهُ لَمْ يَمْنَعْ عَنْ بُخْلٍ وَلَا عَدَمٍ. He says, and that is because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not withhold anything from his servant out of stinginess or out of a lack of having and owning that thing, and an inability to provide that thing. وَإِنَّمَا نَظَرَ فِي خَيْرِ عَبْدِهِ الْمُؤْمِنِ فَمَنَعَهُ اخْتِيَارًا وَحُسْنَ نَظَرٍ. But rather Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has merely saw the condition of the servant and knows the condition of the servant, and he knows what is of a better for him, and so he withholds what he withholds, making the best choice for his servant, and out of good watchfulness over his servant. وَهَذَا كَمَا قَالَ, and the reality of the matter is just as Sufyan al-Thawri rahimahullah ta'ala said, that when Allah withholds something, that itself is a gift from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. فإنه سبحانه وتعالى لا يقضي لعبده المؤمن قضاء إلا كان خيرا له ساء ذلك القضاء أو سره ساءه ذلك القضاء أو سره. For certainly Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not judge for anything to happen or preordain for anything to happen to his believing worshipper, except that what he has preordained is better for him. Except that what he has preordained is better for him. Whether or not that thing saddens and upsets him, or elates and joys the person and makes the person happy. Whether or not that makes the person happy or sad, it is better for the person. It is better for the person. فَقَضَاؤُهُ لِعَبْدِهِ الْمُؤْمِنَ الْمَنْعَ عَطَاءٌ فَقَضَاؤُهُ لِعَبْدِهِ الْمُؤْمِنَ الْمَنْعَ عَطَاءٌ. And so his preordaining that something be withheld or taken away or prevented from his believing worshipper, then that is an ata, that is a gift from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَإِنْ كَانَ فِي سُورَةِ الْمَنْعِ وَنِعْمَةٌ وَإِنْ كَانَتْ فِي سُورَةِ مِحْنَةٍ. And that is a gift from Allah, even though it looks as something has been taken or withheld. And it is a ni'matun وَإِنْ كَانَتْ فِي سُورَةِ مِحْنَةٍ. And it is a blessing even if it appears to be a trial. وَبَلَاؤُهُ عَافِيَةٌ. And what Allah tries people with is actually well-being for them. It is actually well-being for them. وإن كان في صورة بلية, and even if it looks on the outside from all appearances to be a calamity. ولكن لجهل العبد وظلمه لا يعد العطاء ونعمة والعافية إلا ما التذى به في العاجل. However, unfortunately, due to the ignorance and the oppressiveness of the abd, of the servant, that he does not consider, the human being does not consider anything to be a gift or a blessing or well-being except for that which they feel ladha from, immediate pleasure from, he says, in an immediate sense. وَكَانَ مُلَائِمًا لِطَبْعِهِ, and that which is in agreement to his nature and his impulses and his wants. وَلَوْ رُزِقَ مِنَ الْمَعْرِفَةِ حَظًّا وَافِرًا لَعَدَّ الْمَنْعَ نِعْمَةً وَالْبَلَاءَ رَحْمَةً وَتَلَذَّذَ بِالْبَلَاءِ أَكْثَرَ مِنْ لَذَّتِهِ بِالْعَافِيَةِ. However, if the person was blessed by Allah and supplied with ma'rifah, of a deeper awareness and understanding, حَظًّا وَافِرًا, yani an ample amount of good awareness and understanding of the matter, لَعَدَّ الْمَنْعَ نِعْمَةً, then he would count and consider what has been withheld from him and what has been taken from him to be a blessing. وَالْبَلَاءَ رَحْمَةً, and he would consider any affliction to be a mercy. وَتَلَذَّذَ بِالْبَلَاءِ أَكْثَرْ مِنْ لَذَّتِهِ بِالْعَافِيَةِ, and he would enjoy and feel more pleasure from al-bala, from being tried and tested and being stricken with calamity, more than his pleasure that he feels during al-afiyah, during normal well-being, a normal state of affairs. وَتَلَذَّذَ بِالْفَقْرِ أَكْثَرَ مِنْ لَذَّتِهِ بِالْغِنَى, and he would enjoy poverty more than he enjoys richness and having sufficiency in his wealth. وَكَانَ فِي حَالِ الْقِلَّةِ أَعْظَمَ شُكْرًا مِنْ حَالِ الْكَثْرَةِ, and in a situation of scarcity he will be more grateful. In a situation of scarcity, of qillah, of having less, of scarcity, he will be more grateful, Ibn Qayyim says, min hal al-kathra, than he is in a situation of al-kathra, if he had an ample amount of understanding and awareness about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَهَذِهِ كَانَتْ حَالَ salaf, and this is how the state of the salaf was, how they were. This is how they were. This was their state of being. فَالْعَاقِلُ الرَّاضِي, the person who is intelligent and pleased with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, مَنْ يَعُدُّ الْبَلَاءَ عَافِيَةً, is the one who considers calamity to be well-being, وَالْمَنْعَ نِعْمَةً, and what is withheld from them to be a blessing, وَالْفَقْرَ غِنًى, and poverty considers poverty to be richness. وَأَوْحَى اللَّهُ إِلَى بَعْضِ أَنْبِيَائِهِ إِذَا رَأَيْتَ الْفَقْرَ مُقْبِلًا فَقُلْ مَرْحَبًا بِشِعَارِ الصَّالِحِينَ. And it was said by some of the people in the past that Allah once revealed to some of the prophets the following, that when you see al-faqra muqbilan, when you see poverty approaching, then say marhaban bi shi'ar salihin, welcome to shi'ar salihin, to the banner and the flag of the salihin, the slogan and the banner of the salihin, the standard that they stand under and that they are identified by, the standard of the righteous. وَإِذَا رَأَيْتَ الْغِنَى مُقْبِلًا فَقُلْ ذَنْبٌ عُجِّلَتْ عُقُوبَتُهُ. And when you see wealth approaching, wealth on its way, then say that this perhaps is a sin whose punishment has been hastened. This is a sin whose punishment perhaps has been hastened. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us insight and awareness and to spare us from calamity. فالراضي هو الذي يعد نعم الله عليه فيما يكرهه أكثر وأعظم من نعمه عليه فيما يحبه. So the one who is pleased with Allah, who is truly pleased with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he is the one who counts amongst the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala those things that he personally as a human being dislikes. To be akthar wa a'zam, and to be more in number. Those things that he dislikes from amongst the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and he, in comparison to those things that yuhibbuhu, those things that he prefers and those things that he likes, and that he sees that what is disliked from the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what is disliked to happen, that is actually a blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it is even greater and more impactful and more abundant than that which he himself would prefer, of ease and well-being and so on and so forth. كما قال بعض العارفين, as some of the wise persons of the past, they said, يا ابن آدم نعمة الله عليك فيما تكره أعظم من نعمته عليك فيما تحب. O son of Adam, the blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala upon you in that which you dislike is even greater than his blessing upon you in that which you like. وقد قال الله تعالى, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he said, كما تعلمون, as you know, وعسى أن تكرهوا شيئا وهو خير لكم, perhaps you dislike a thing and it is better for you. وقد قال بعض العارفين, likewise some of the wise persons of the past, they said, ارض عن الله في جميع ما يفعله بك فإنه ما منعك إلا ليعطيك ولا ابتلاك إلا ليعافيك ولا أمرضك إلا ليشفيك ولا أماتك إلا ليحييك فإياك أن تفارق الرضا عنه طرفة عين فتسقط من عينه. They said, be pleased with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala pertaining everything that he does to you, for verily he does not withhold anything except to gift you with something tremendous, and he does not try you with calamity except so that he can allow you to enjoy well-being, and he does not cause you to become sick except so that he may cure you. وَلَا أَمَاتَكَ إِلَّا لِيُحْيِيكَ, and he does not cause you to die except so that he can bring you back to life. And so I warn you, أن تفارق الرضا عنه طرفة عين, of ever being displeased with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and leaving off being pleased with the decree of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for even the blinking of an eye. فَتَسْقُطَ مِنْ عَيْنِهِ, lest that you should fall in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, lest that your station should be diminished and your daraja and your standing with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala should decrease and your faith should increase, or should decrease rather, and lest that you should become denigrated in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We conclude here, سائلين الله تبارك وتعالى التوفيق